Your personal development is one of the biggest investments for your life. This has come to my mind recently because I realized every time we have a project, anytime you're doing any kind of like project work, you have to do a needs assessment just to kind of get to understand what are the type of people you're trying to meet, what do they need. That helps you to design the right initiatives for them. But have you ever thought about doing a needs assessment for you as an individual? I think why this came to me is I've just been thinking about, where I want to go in the next 5 years, what kind of work I want to do. And I realized we don't always think about doing a needs assessment for ourselves as people. If you want to be a doctor in the next 5 years, you need to have the right skills to be a doctor in the next 5 years. If you want to be a consultant, if you want to be a manager, if you want to be a lawyer, any kind of progression you want to make in your life requires some sort of skill set. If you're not intentional on this journey to acquire the right skill set, then eventually you're going to get to 5 years and you still won't get there. I want us to learn how to set the right habits that are going to lead us to the people that we want to be in the next few years. Yes, think of yourself as a project. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And analyzing where you are at in terms of skills helps you to identify areas that you need to work on now, and you invest in the right things. Otherwise, you might be going all kinds of seminars, doing all kinds of courses, but they're not directly linked to where you want to go. So the very first step I want you to take is think about or visualize where you want to be in the next 5 years. Who do you want to be? For instance, in the next 5 years, I want to be a consultant who is in charge of their time. I want to do work that really fills me up, that fuels me. And I can only do that if I have acquired right skill set and I have become an expert in my field, that I don't have to do maybe work that I don't want, but instead I am now correctly placed to do the work that I really, really, really love. Once you finish visualizing where you want to be in the next 5 years, think about the skills that you want to have, that all that you need to have. What do you need to learn? And I think the misconception when we talk about skills is you might think that your skills have to only be like maybe technical skills. There are very different types of skills, and you have to identify which ones you need to work on. If you need technical skills, for instance, you need to go back and do a course, or probably you need to maybe do some sort of like seminar, anything that requires you to go back and learn something actively or engage in active education. That is a technical skill. We also have soft skills, and these are often looked down upon. But the soft skills include time management. It could be documentation, could be proper communication. All these are just skills that you might want to polish just to get you to who you want to be in the next 5 years. I want to use myself as a guinea pig just to take you through some of the work that I'm doing right now and how I am actually visualizing, working on my skills to help me to elevate to the next level. So there are 3 focal areas of my life right now. I have a full-time job working as a PR. I also have a part-time gig where I work as a network coordinator. But then I also have my work as, my passionate work when it comes to content creation. So those are 3 areas that I want to focus on in terms of growing my skills. The PR right now, what is really essential for me is 1, to learn consistency. 2, to learn how to batch content create. And I think it's easy when someone tells you, okay, these are just things you can just quickly do. No, they take a while to learn. I need to learn how to strategize. I need to learn how to design content, thinking about the client that I'm working with, design the right content for them and make sure it's properly spaced out all through the month. That is going to ensure consistency. And to be able to have consistent content, it's very essential for me to really learn the right tools that I need to use, things for editing, whether it's video content, whether it's graphics, all that stuff. If I can make work much, much easier, then it means I'm going to have more output, and eventually I'm going to have more consistency when it comes to, like, let's say, posting content for the work that I do. On the other hand, the work that is very essential for me, like as a PR, what I need to master is public speaking. Now, it's very easy to say, I could already have that skill right now, but I need to have that skill in terms of, can someone call me up this very second and I can be able to speak to an audience and engage them and have impact. I want to be able to just think on a fly, like analyze the audience, analyze the impact that I want to have, and then also analyze the information and package it in the right manner. If I can be able to process that in the fastest way possible, then that means I'm also going to be able to grow and get to the next level as an expert in my field. I want to be knowledgeable about the sector that I work in, to understand it very well. So which means I need to read a lot about the sector. I need to meet the right people, engage with them, really be interested in the work that they're doing, so that I can understand what is going on in the sector. And eventually this is going to translate when I speak. You'll be able to tell that I can be able to properly analyze issues that are happening around, and then that's how I'll be able to elevate in that area of my work. When it comes to the other angle, where I mentioned that right now I'm working as a network coordinator, it is very, very essential. As a coordinator, the role really requires me to be more of service. So it's not like you just have to produce maybe like a product and market it. This is a service-based role, and it means that one, I need to learn how to really care for the people that I'm serving. The network is mostly around invasive aquatic plants. I need to put myself in those people's shoes, understand what type of work do they do, what are the challenges they face, what are the solutions they're trying to come up with, how far have they gone, what has stopped them from elevating in that area of work. If I can properly understand and fully immerse myself in the work that I do, eventually I'll be able to, maybe think of solutions, think of the right linkages to give to people. And that's how I am going to be able to grow in that area. Also, I need to work on my networking skills. So I think sometimes the misconception with networking is you have to wait for like an event, a big event where you can talk about yourself to like people, but networking is an everyday thing. So I really need to just actively engage with people, understand what they're doing, and then really just put out there the kind of work that we're doing. Because if you're building a brand, if you're building a network, it means people don't know about you. So I need to actively engage with people so that eventually they get to know about us. That means I also have to go beyond, my fear of either speaking to people. If I'm very introverted, and it's not that comfortable for me to just be in spaces where I have to always speak to people, it means I slowly have to outgrow my fear, because then it will be a hindrance in me growing in that area of my work. If you've noticed, in the very first two areas, the skills that I'm mostly mentioning are not necessarily like technical skills. Yes, there are some technical skills I need to learn, like editing, how to create the right content, all that stuff. Those might be technical, but most of the skills that I need to learn are more on the soft skills side. Things like time management, communication, all those, they lie on the soft skills side. So if you find that you are like me, and most of the skills that you really need to grasp right now are more, on the soft skills side, it's also okay. Because trust me, right now, you could have all the technical skills, you could have all the professional skills that you have, but if you don't have the right soft skills, then it means it might be a hindrance for you to get to the next level that you want to get to. Lastly, very last role that I'm doing right now, where I really want to elevate myself, is in the area of content creation. It's so broad as a field, and I think partly I want to outgrow the section where I'm doing it like out of passion, because I've realized there's a whole business side to it. So it means I want to understand, how does the business work? How do people think about like distribution of content? How do people consume content? What's interesting for people? All those things. If I can really take time to understand how the entire process works, from the time of creation to the time of distribution, then I think maybe in the next 5 years I'll have like more reach when it comes to my audience. I want to have a community, and for a community to happen for you, you really need to actively engage. You need to actively contribute solutions to the everyday issues that they have. So that's the picture that I have for myself. Why I have been just giving you an example of how I'm trying to grow in the different aspects of work that I do, is because I want you to think about yourself and the work that you're doing right now. How do you plan to grow in the next 5 years? If you don't think about the process now, then you're going to miss out on the benefits. However, if you think about the skills that you need to grow and you start investing in those habits on an everyday basis, then you're going to see compounding results over time. So I think that's the benefit of being very intentional into, like growing certain aspects of your life. I want you to be very intentional with this process, and hopefully maybe 1 year down to 2 years down, you can actually be seeing the benefits of the investment you're making in yourself. I hope this gets you to think a little bit, when it comes to what you want to do and where you want to go with your career and with your work, and so you can invest in the right things for you. Thank you if you've watched all the way to this part of the video. I appreciate you for watching, and make sure you share this with a friend who might need this very same information just like you. Thank you for watching. Until the next video, bye.